Hey everybody, this is David Breen with BreenDesign.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make two Xbox Kinects talk to each other. And there's one program that can do it. It's called Tpose, and you got to check it out. Download the trial. You got 30 days. If you like it, if you're a student, $400. And for $400 and an extra 150, you can have two Xbox Kinects and some great software to where you can hook them both up and you can take some full 360-degree motion capture. So first, what you got to do is you got to hold out a piece of cardboard or a picture, something kind of shiny. And so here my brother Corey, he's holding up a picture or a painting, some flowers there, and you got to wave it back and forth. Now you see what's going on here is there's a camera that's pointed hitting him from the left, and there's a camera hitting him from the right, and he just looks forward, and the camera from these positions can get all of the depth that it needs, all the depth information it needs to build a motion capture profile. Alright, so this yellow that we have in the picture, that means that the camera doesn't know what to do with that information. It's bad information, basically. And what we want is that the purple and the blue means that the computer knows what's up. The program sees it, recognizes it, knows what to do with it. And so the fact that this board here is, every time I put my mouse up, that gets us, whatever. So let me just hit play. This is basically what you have to do. Hold the board up, wave it back and forth about 30 degrees in both directions. You don't have to move it that far. You see it starts to turn yellow. It doesn't recognize it anymore. So just do that. In the documentation it says 5 seconds, so I go a little overkill here, and I've already produced a result here, as you saw with my last video, or that I have on my website. So I'm going to try to recreate what I did before. So what we're going to do is, this is just in the player right now. We want to bring this into the calibration aspect of this software, because this is the process of calibrating the dual Kinects to take two depth information perspectives and to put them together to create a full 360-degree hologram that you then skin to a skeleton system that you can then apply to a three-dimensional character. That's how it works. So you click on this S up here. After you've done this process, you've got it in here. There's no editing to be done yet. You just click on this S, and this opens up the other portion of this software. IPIsoft comes in two programs, the recorder part, and now here's the editor part. So I have the trial version right now. Go to calibration project. Since we have two Kinects, if we only had one, there'd be no need to calibrate. And now here's the part of the program. Now it's playing our video. That's great. Here's the part of the program that's a little funky, and I hope it gets better as time goes on, and I'm sure it will. This will probably be an automated process eventually, where it'll know how to calibrate. And so here in this viewport, you right click to move it around, the mouse wheel to zoom in and out, and then click the middle mouse button to pan. Click and hold. And it's kind of a glitchy user interface or viewport window. Sometimes it won't scroll, it won't pan, it won't respond to what you're doing, and if that happens, just click one of the other buttons and it should start working again. Alright, so we have, in reality, these two cameras, the second one should be on the opposite side, pointing back at the first one. But they're both on the same side, and they're both oriented on the rotation. This one, number 2, it's pointing upward. That's not how it was. So it's very odd. It's very strange. So what we have to do is manually go in and kind of fidget this and move it to the best place we can, get it the best we possibly can, and then we have to calibrate it once we have it moved into place. So this is the part that's kind of a pain in the neck. And it's not the best interface. You gotta kind of make do with what you have. So camera 1, that looks okay for now. Camera 2, remember, is the one at the bottom looking up, and you can tell where your camera is based on this grid. The grid would be like the floor plane. Camera 2 is way underneath. So you got to go over here to scene, and you've got all these tools here. So orbit, if you just left click and move up and down, right over here, you can move that into place. Of course, pan brings it up. So you just play with that. Now, I'd go up to view and turn off the video. Keep the depth on. And I'd do depth from all sensors. So now you can see both of them. Now I just scrolled outwards to zoom out from the second camera. Let's go back there though. There we go, something weird happened. Now we want to move number 2 all the way around. So let's go back into number 2, and if you left click on orbit and move to the side, you'll move all the way around. Just about like that. Now we want to try to line these up the best we possibly can so that they're almost right, connected. So this can be kind of a crazy process. Just put it like that. Zoom. See, if you kind of match it up, you can kind of just match it up right here. You match up both the depth informations, and then you right click and go out to see how close you are. And you can see it's decent. Go back to camera 2 and maybe orbit around. Let's check the 3D plane on this one. See, we want to kind of like that. Alright, let me no, I'm not going to pause. I'm just going to, if you want to skip ahead, that's fine, but I'm going to just sit here and fidget with it. See, that's pretty close. Now if I go to camera 2 and zoom a little bit, it would be nice if there was a preview window so you could see what you're doing. But that's not an option. You know what, I'm going to call that good. Well, I could zoom in a little bit. That way. Yeah, okay. I'm going to call that good. So we've got both cameras, what I don't like though is their orientation. Number 2, let's orbit this up and pan up. Oh, no, that's not what I want. I want looks a lot better, I guess. See, I'm just not really sure about this part. But let's see what happens. That's pretty much what I did. And I might even have the save file to open it and see what it looked like. So let's just save this real quick. Save project. Yeah, I might. Let's do this as calibration. And I'll go from the beginning. You need this gray part at the bottom. You just click and go like that, and this will set the actual point, the region of interest, which means it will only record this area. So it goes by, we want it to go by a couple times and then back to there. There. So that might be overkill, but that's what I'm going to do. Calibration, and then you just hit calibrate based on 3D plane, and it's creating these dots on the corners, and it's trying to match them up and find, you know, it's doing its magic, and it's going to take a little bit here, so I'll be right back. Alright, we're back, and okay, so it's done calibrating, and check it out. Right? It's like perfect. So that's all you gotta do. The only thing that's not perfect is it's slanted. It's not perpendicular to the ground, which is weird. But that is kind of how I had it set up. True. So if you fidgeted with these more, you could get it aligned. I'm not really too bothered with it right now because you can take this information and into your 3D program and just move it back to how it needs to be oriented. But that's really nice looking. So then we just go to save scene, and I've already got all these other calibrations here I did earlier. So we'll save this as calibration scene 4. Okay, whatever. Alright, so we've got that saved as our calibration. First step done. Now we have to apply that calibration to the actual acting or motion, action, whatever it is we want to capture with motion capture. So then we go back to the recorder, and let me open up. Here's an action that I did. And just moving in all directions to test out the 360-degree capture there. And then Tpose at the end, I guess. You know, it's not really necessary. So that's our footage there. Excuse me. Jeez. Alright, then you click on the S. Now we're going to do an action project. And then we conveniently, I love how it prompts you to load your calibration right away. Open up our latest calibration, continue, male or female, and then, you know, their height. You can set this later if you want to. And there is our depth information. Once again, turn off the video. And go to show depth from both sensors. And we've got this really nifty hologram playing out. Isn't that cool? Complete 360-degree hologram. And all we have to do, the reason why you go into a Tpose at the beginning is so that you can match it up to the Tpose of this skeleton system built into IPISoft. So what you have to do is you have to move, let me move my mouse to the right side here, trying to train myself to work with my left hand. Okay, you gotta move this guy, so just go to move. Well, let's rotate him, and you want to grab his hip area. That's not his foot. I hope they improve the interface in this. There we go. So now I can rotate him to where he should go. And then move. I can't wait till Autodesk integrates this kind of software into their 3D packages. That's going to be great. Just use their interface instead of having to use this clunky thing. And then we're going to have to increase the actor's height here, his size. Get another perspective here. Move it about there. Rotate again. And move again. So it's about in the right spot. Well, sort of. As you can see, the hand is way off over here. So let's rotate it a little bit more. And more. Then you can even grab the hands themselves, the arms themselves, and bring them into place. Now there is a feature that will call, whatever. I'll show you in a second. Alright, so move these into place. Doesn't have to be perfect. Go to tracking, refit pose, and it'll do its best to match it up. Alright, so now we've got their skeleton system. See, if we turn off the skin, it's the skeleton here. And we've got it sort of attached to the motion capture data from both Kinects. Now we just track forward and it will go through this entire timeline and track everything that I did in my action. So I'm going to hit track forward, and it's going to run through this entire process. So I'm going to pause it again and be right back. Okay, so I just wanted to jump back on here real quick. This is in the middle of processing. It actually finished, and his left arm here got caught up in his body and got all messed up and wasn't following the motion capture information. So I was like, that's not gonna fly. So in order to fix that, see, it's following it now, which is really cool. It got hung up in the same place last time. What I did to fix this is I turned off the skin. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but that's just one of the things that I did. And I basically went back on the timeline here. I went back to the point in time when the arm lost track of the motion capture, and I would just hit track forward again. And I tried, this here is usually on high for tracking resolution. I put it on low and tried tracking forward over again, and lo and behold, I tried that, and I tried turning off the skin, and it seemed to not collide with itself and properly follow the motion capture. So hallelujah, very awesome. It's doing what it's supposed to do. So I will pause this again and be right back. Alright, all finished. Push play, and this came out pretty well. Since I fixed that hand, and yeah, that's great. This is some professional stuff, guys. I feel privileged to be using these amazing software and hardware tools. The Kinect camera, this kind of software combined with something like phase shift. I mean, this is amazing stuff. So basically that's it, guys. And then you can go up here to export, and you can export your animation as your favorite extension. Export Tpose in first frame, advanced motion transfer. So that's your options. You can also import a target character to follow your animation. And so this is a character that I skinned, and you just have to make sure that you assign, you know, the hip has all the source bones over here, and you just have to assign the same thing. That's pretty self-explanatory, but that's just if you want to preview within the program. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching my awesome tutorial, and if you want more awesome tutorials, go to my awesome website, braindesign.com. I got a bunch of videos up here, tutorials, demonstrations of the facial motion capture technology, and just some, you know, logo I did here for my dad, and here's some characters I was working on that I've done. So lots of good stuff. I'm going into my second year at Santa Rosa Junior College, and it's fun. These are all the programs I'm using. So check me out. Please post comments, like my videos if you like them, and thanks for watching.